Welcome to another weekly trading card news video. As you can see, I'm in my footy jersey. I just got back from the game. My team won very, very comfortably, which is always good. Good way to start your weekend. But let's get straight into this week's news video. So the first thing I want to touch on is this box of 86 fleer that was busted out at the National. WhatNot have given an update earlier today where they've basically said, you know what, guys, we messed up. We're going to rebust another box of 86 fleer, and every single one of you that won a free pack in the last box is now going to get a pack from this box instead. I'm not too sure what it means for the individuals that did hit the Jordans or did hit key cards. This might just be for the people that, you know, hit average cards, or maybe if you got a good card in the first box, you're now going to hit another pack in this one. There's not really clarification on that. But as it looks like on Instagram, it looks like Ken Goldin has maybe instigated this on behalf of WhatNot, just based on his comment, because as you can see, he basically says, I'm glad to help out and I look forward to making my first ever WhatNot appearance and busted this box for your users. So I'm not too sure where they did. Maybe WhatNot paid half and Ken Goldin put up half, you know, to make up for this basic mistake. You know, very, very good to see. So I'm not going to hate on that. I think it's just a bit late. I would have loved to have seen them come out with this immediately rather than, you know, mull on it for a couple of days, because especially WhatNot, like I said, when it came to these influencers busting these packs at the show and all these weird sequencing started coming out, like, you almost can't blame the influencers. Yes, you would have liked to have seen them comment a bit more, but, you know, they're getting paid by WhatNot to be there. They probably felt a bit awkward on stage. Like, I would have liked to have thought I would have said something different at the time. Like, who knows, right? You never know until you're in that situation. But WhatNot at the time should have done something, okay? They should have stopped the break then and there, like I said, because that stuff was very, very strange, and they should have contacted BBC immediately. But that's a story for another day, like I've explained in the past as well. Now, the next thing I want to touch on, keeping on with this thought, even though I said the other day in my last video on BBC that I didn't really want to talk about this, you know, again, unless something major happened, a few people in the comments of the last video were talking about baseball card exchanges guarantee or lack of, right? And how it's almost okay that they don't have one because it's a really hard thing to do. And the one point I want to give on this, and like I've said in each of those comments, is, you know, just because it's hard and it's going to be difficult to implement, it doesn't mean that they shouldn't even try. And what they're having with their no guarantee is basically not trying. And when you're talking about boxes that are going for upwards of $250,000 USD, which is a lot of money, right, for a box of cards, pieces of cardboard, right? They need to be doing better. And you just can't get away with, well, you know what, there's no one else out there doing it. How do you expect them to do it? People can manipulate the wrap. How are they going to be comfortable that the person hasn't manipulated the wrap since it left them? Like, yes, there's all these questions, but there's things they can implement, right? Something as simple as, you know, like we've discussed in the comments in previous videos, putting tamper-proof plastic stickers, seals, or whatever you want to call them, on the box themselves. Obviously, when you peel these stickers off, they leave residue, right? You look at those void ones in the past where you've probably bought like TVs or things like that. The second you rip that label off, or a laptop as an example, it leaves traces of the fact that the thing's been lifted off. You can't reseal those kinds of things, right? Because they're tamper-proof. Maybe they could start putting their boxes in acrylic cases or something along those lines. Maybe they could do something as simple as, you know, having those tamper-proof stickers on there, but also saying your guarantee would only be valid if you bust it on camera or if you bust it at an approved site. So maybe you have to go to Baseball Card Exchange to bust your box or something along those lines. Yes, there's drawbacks to each of those things, because it's like, well, if I want to bust my box of cards, why do I have to go to Baseball Card Exchange? I'm just throwing things out there. The point I'm trying to make is, you know, yes, it's hard to do and it's going to be hard to protect themselves and provide the guarantee, but what they're doing now is not good enough. Just because it's hard does not mean that they should not do it. And like I've also touched on in other comments when people have spoken about Daniel, you know, people have said, these boxes, they authenticate them, they're the best we have, so we just have to deal with it. It's like, that's not good enough either. If you're the best, okay, you need to be better. Like, just because you're the best and the only one doing it doesn't mean we have to trust what you're saying, right? Like, there's all these things. You just have to keep that sort of stuff front of mind. Now, I'm going to do a video early next week. We're going to talk to similar things such as this guarantee. I'm going to touch on, you know, the graders, the manufacturers, authenticators like Baseball Card Exchange, and why their risk appetite is not very good, and why some things could be better moving forward, and some things that we need to be expecting better moving forward. And by that, I mean, you know, what is it that they're doing to make sure that they're providing a service that's sufficient for the amount of money that's in the hobby today. I've spoken about this before, but I'm going to highlight that again in another video, just because I've got a whole lot of new viewers and subscribers lately. I think this is a good discussion to have, and especially off the back of this Baseball Card Exchange stuff, it's really good to chat through. Now, the last point I want to touch on in today's video is a follow-up from my weekly news video. I believe it was last week or the week before, where I spoke about, you know, Breakout Cards and Ryan Nolan, who's the host of Breakout Cards, and he's really good, and he's the YouTuber, I should say. He's really good at identifying fake cards. He's written a book on it, as you can see on the screen right now. And basically what happened out at the National when I did my National video, as you can see on the screen, he walked around and found a few fake cards in certain cases. And I mentioned he found one. I put a link down to that video in question, and he mentioned in that video and in the comment section of my video that, you know, the seller reached out and was going to have a conversation with him. Now, to give you some context, he basically saw this fake card at the National. He had a discussion with the dealer and said, you know, this card is fake. I'm pretty sure it's fake. I think you should take it off for sale. They had a good discussion. The dealer didn't want to do that. I think they had a follow-up discussion later on, and the dealer then still kept the card on display, if I remember correctly. And then after the video got posted, the dealer reached out to Ryan and basically said, let's have a chat. Now, I mentioned in my video, and he mentioned in that comment, I've just spoken in a big circle, but basically the dealer was going to have a conversation with him on his YouTube channel and talk through, the fake card in question and basically a bit more backstory. Because I commented that on my video, Ryan reached out to me the other day. We discussed a few things which I won't disclose now, but he basically said that the dealer declined to do the interview after previously agreeing. I didn't really delve much deeper than that with Ryan because, I want to protect the privacy of both individuals. Like, I think it's one of those things, I think it's a bit strange, to be honest. Like, the fact that the dealer reached out and said, I want to have the interview and then declined, I think, like, actions speak louder than words, I guess you could say in this specific instance. Like, I'm not saying anyone is doing anything disingenuous or anything like that. I just find it very odd. So if you're waiting for that interview to pop up on his channel or for me to talk about it, now you know why it's not going to show up. So that's sort of it for these 3 points. Like I said, I've got a pretty interesting video coming next week where I'm going to talk about, the status of the hobby and where things are going from these manufacturers, from these dealers, from these, card graders, from these authenticators, and why, we're sort of stuck maybe 10, 15 years and we're not caught up yet with regards to, providing an appropriate service for the amount of money in the hobby. So please keep an eye out for that. Thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts on any of these points down in the comments below. This baseball card exchange is pretty interesting. Let's wait and see what happens out at WhatNot with this second box. Like, if it's from a BBCE wrap box, again, we might have, a very similar issue, which would be not very surprising based on how things have gone thus far. So as always, thanks for watching. Please leave a like and a comment if you did enjoy the video. I really appreciate your support. If you want to leave a comment, please do so. I love chatting with you guys in the comments. You'll see that I respond to 99% of the comments on every single video. I love having a discussion with you guys. I love dialogue because that's how we all learn, how we can all educate each other and, have some fun within the hobby. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.